Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is the 6th February 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, please understand we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. Some of you might be knowing the cost of the training is over 8,000 US dollars. But we are providing complete free training and all the training lessons are available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. So at our channel homepage, click on the tab posts, or some of you might be seeing the tab community. So click on that community tab, you get access to this post. This post is having a YouTube playlist link that will take you to all the training lessons. You just click on the link. Now we are at supply demand zone price action course, and this playlist is having all the training lessons. You need to start your training from lesson 1.1 that is available at the bottom of the page. Just scroll down to the bottom of the page. Here, starting from lesson 1.1, all the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one and strengthen your skills, but learn these concepts according to the training instructions I mentioned at our Telegram channel. I provided the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. Once you join at our Telegram channel, you look into the pinned messages. The pinned message bar is available at the top of the Telegram channel window. So click that pinned messages bar. Then you will get the pinned messages. So in those messages, I provided the training instructions. So learn the course according to the training instructions. So definitely you will become a very good independent trader in the next 3 months time period. Okay, now let's get into the report generation with the help of NeoStock Software's supply demand zone top-down analysis strategy builder. First, we will identify the stocks near demand and supply zones. Then we will generate NIFTY, BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. And then we will generate bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly, daily and hourly income trades. And finally, we will generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. So I am starting with the yearly time frame. Price closed inside the yearly demand zone. We got 3 stocks. I am giving you only few seconds time to watch the report, so I request you pause the video, study the report. After that, you can proceed further with next reports. In case if you don't understand the structure of this report, I request you complete our training lesson 21.1. In that video, I have explained each and every column, their values, abbreviations, everything I explained in detail. Okay, let's proceed to the next report. Yearly time frame, price closed inside the yearly supply zone. No stocks are available. Next time frame is a half yearly. Stocks near half yearly demand zone. We got 1 stock. Next, half yearly time frame, price closed near the half yearly supply zone. No stocks are available. Next, half yearly time frame, price closed inside the half yearly demand zone. We got 5 stocks. Next, half yearly time frame, price closed inside the half yearly supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Next, half yearly time frame. Next time frame is quarterly time frame. Stocks near quarterly demand zone. We got 1 stock. Next, quarterly time frame. Stocks near quarterly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, quarterly time frame. Price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. We got 27 stocks are filtered. First 22 stocks in the list, I'm scrolling the list down. So total 27 stocks are filtered. Now we can further filter this list based on quarterly demand zone with quarterly EMA confluence. So in the quarterly time frame, in the EMA confluence at quarterly time frame, I am setting the filter quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And the trend on the quarterly time frame is either up or down. With these filters, we got 10 stocks. Next, quarterly time frame, price closed inside the quarterly supply zone, we got 4 stocks. Within these 4, how many quarterly supply zones are having EMA confluence? Let us verify. In the EMA confluence at quarterly time frame, quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence, and the trend on the quarterly time frame is either up or down. We got 3 stocks. Next time frame is monthly. Stocks near monthly demand zone. We got 3 stocks. Next, monthly time frame, stocks near monthly supply zone, we got 6 stocks. Next, monthly time frame, price closed inside the monthly demand zone, we got 38 stocks. So first 18 stocks in the list. I'm scrolling the list down. So total 37 stocks. Out of these 37, how many monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence? Let us verify. In the EMA confluence monthly time frame, monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence filter is enabled, and the trend on the monthly time frame should be up or down with these filters. We got 15 stocks. Out of 38, 15 are filtered. All these monthly demand zones are having monthly EMA confluence, and current price closed inside these monthly demand zones. Some of these monthly demand zones are also high liquidity zones, some are pierced zones. Okay, next, monthly time frame, price closed inside the monthly supply zone, we got 9 stocks. Let us further filter based on monthly supply zone with monthly EMA confluence. Monthly time frame, price closed inside monthly supply zone, I am setting EMA confluence on the monthly time frame as monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence, and the trend on the monthly time frame is up or down. With these filters, we got 4 stocks. So this is about monthly time frame. Next time frame is weekly. Stocks near weekly demand zone, we got 13 stocks. Next, weekly time frame, stocks near weekly supply zone, we got 14 stocks. Next, weekly time frame, price closed inside the weekly demand zone, we got 65 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 65 stocks are filtered. Next, weekly time frame. We will also further filter this list based on EMA Confluence. So in the EMA Confluence, at weekly time frame, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA Confluence, and the trend on the weekly time frame is either up or down. With these filters, we got 12 stocks. These 12 weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. So this is about the weekly price closed inside the weekly demand zones. Next, weekly time frame, price closed inside the weekly supply zone. We got 27 stocks. These are the first 15 stocks. I am scrolling the list down. So total 27 stocks are filtered. Out of these 27 weekly supply zones, how many weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence? Let us verify. In the EMA Confluence, weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA Confluence, and the trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. So with these filters, we got 11 stocks. So these 11 weekly supply zones are having weekly EMA Confluence. Okay, this is about a weekly time frame. Next time frame is a daily. Entry time frame daily. Let us find the stocks near daily demand zone. We got 17 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. Indian Hotels is having a high liquidity daily demand zone, and Manapuram is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. Marico is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. So we have identified 3 daily high liquidity demand zones from this list. The high priority, high liquidity daily demand zones. They should be used for our HLQ zone strategy learned in lesson 21.3. Okay, next. For daily time frame, let us find the stocks near daily supply zone. We got 5 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity daily supply zones from this list. HDFC Bank is having a high liquidity zone. IEX is a pierced zone, so we can't use. INFI is having a high liquidity daily supply zone. That's it. We have identified 2 high liquidity daily supply zones, HDFC Bank and INFI, from this list. Okay, next. Daily time frame, price closed inside the daily demand zone. We got 35 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. I am scrolling the list down. So total 35 stocks are filtered. Out of these 35, how many are having a daily EMA Confluence? Let us verify. In the EMA Confluence, at a daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA Confluence, and during this EMA Confluence, trend should not be sideways on daily. It can be up or down. With these filters, we got 18 stocks. First 15 stocks on the list. Nifty daily demand zone is also having daily EMA confluence. Nifty 50. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So totally 18 stocks are filtered. Okay, next, daily time frame. Price closed inside the daily supply zone. 51 stocks are filtered. Nifty Bank is inside the daily supply zone, but it is a pierced supply zone. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. So total 51 stocks are filtered. Out of these 51, how many daily supply zones are having daily EMA confluence? Let us verify. So in the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence filter is enabled, and the trend on daily time frame is either up or down. With these filters, we got 16 stocks. So first 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 16. So this is about the daily time frame. So next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near 125 minutes demand zone. We got 17 stocks. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 17 stocks are filtered. Next, 125 minutes time frame. Stocks near 125 minutes supply zone. We got 15 stocks. Next time frame is 75 minutes. Stocks near 75 minutes demand zone. We got 13 stocks. Next 75 minutes time frame. Stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. We got 13 stocks. Next time frame is we need to identify high liquidity zones also. For stocks near 75 minutes demand zone, we have 13 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity demand zones, 75 minutes demand zones. First one is Nifty Consumer. It is not listed in F&O. I am ignoring it. JK Cement is having a high liquidity zone. Maruti is having a high liquidity zone. That's it. We have two 75 minutes high liquidity demand zones from this list. Next 75 minutes time frame. Stocks near 75 minutes supply zone. We got 13 stocks. Out of these 13, how many supply zones are having high liquidity zones? Let us identify. RT Industries is having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. Torrent Power is a pierced zone, so we can't use it. So we have only one high liquidity 75 minute supply zone from this list. Okay, this is about 75 minutes time frame. Next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near 25 minutes demand zone. We got 7 stocks. Next 25 minutes time frame. Stocks near 25 minutes supply zone. We got 10 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near 15 minutes demand zone. We got 2 stocks. Let's verify any of these two stocks are having ITF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. Enable the filter. We got one stock. Okay, next 15 minutes time frame, stocks near 15 minutes supply zone. We got 8 stocks. Out of these 8, how many supply zones are having ITF confluence? Let us identify. In the supply zone confluence, 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone filter is enabled. With this filter, 3 stocks are filtered. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near 5 minutes demand zone. We got 4 stocks. Out of these 4, how many are having ITF demand zone confluence? Let us identify. That is 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. With this filter, we got only 1 stock. That means this 5 minutes demand zone is overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. Next, 5 minutes time frame. Stocks near 5 minutes supply zone. We got 14 stocks. Out of these 14, how many are having ITF supply zone confluence? Let us verify. That is 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, we got 7 stocks. Some of these, I think, supply zones are pierced. 4 supply zones are pierced, you can ignore them. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Next, we will generate a NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. Okay, let me start with NIFTY monthly time frame, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Okay, this is a NIFTY monthly supply demand zone chain. Always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones. Look into the pierced column to find the pierced zones. Look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. Apply the same rules to remaining supply demand zone chain reports. Okay, next, weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 125 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 75 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, 25 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Fifteenth is the nearest 25 minutes demand zone to current closing price. 14th is the nearest supply 25 minute supply zones to current closing price. Okay, next, 15 minute supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. This is the nearest 15 minutes demand zone. Let me put it in the center so that you can get equal number of demand and supply zones. Okay, next 5-minute supply demand zone chain for Nifty. All these are all supply zones. Let me scroll the list down. So 42nd you have 5 minutes demand zone nearest to the current closing price. Let me put it in the center. Okay, this is about Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next, I will generate Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. That is nothing but Nifty Bank. Generating monthly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, weekly supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, daily supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 125-minute supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Seventeenth is the nearest demand zone. It is in the center. Next, 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Twenty-third is the nearest 5 minutes demand zone to the current closing price. Let me put it in the center. Okay. So this is about 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Okay, now we have completed both Nifty and Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain. Next reports are about bullish and bearish trade setups. So let me start with bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. So entry time frame is daily for monthly income trade. Entry zone is the demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at a daily time frame, that is entry time frame for monthly income trade, I am selecting bullish. And we should set two filters to the daily demand zone. One is zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd and enhanced score should be 12. Both filters are applied to daily demand zone. With these filters, we got 15 stocks. All these 15 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. And these entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. All these zones are daily demand zones, entry time frame zones. And some of these entry time frame zones are high liquidity zones. That way those zones got some high probability to get the success. Apart from that, we can also look for more high probability trade setup based on the zone confluence. So let us filter this list based on the zone confluence. Two filters we are going to use. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is a daily and weekly demand zone confluence. So in the demand zone confluence, I am enabling the filter daily demand zone with weekly demand zone confluence. With this filter, I got 8 stocks. So these 8 stocks are having a daily zone overlapped with the weekly zone and supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. For all these 8 stocks, the weekly trend is uptrend, that is ITF trend, and daily zone is overlapped with weekly. That's why let us look for weekly zone having weekly EMA confluence for these 8 stocks. So in the EMA confluence weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. With this filter we got 4 stocks out of 8. So these 4 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks for monthly income trade, entry time frame daily. All these zones are daily demand zones. These daily zones are overlapped with weekly. That weekly zone is having weekly EMA confluence. Next filter is LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. So I am removing weekly EMA filter because that is ITF specific. Now we are looking at HTF also. So in the demand zone confluence we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, daily with weekly zone confluence. Second filter, daily demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. Third filter, weekly demand zone with monthly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly, both together overlapped with monthly demand zone. And monthly trend is up in all the stocks. If a monthly demand zone is having monthly EMA, then those zones could be even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence at monthly time frame, monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence, and all these zones are having uptrend. So all are filtered. That means all these stocks are having even monthly EMA confluence. So these 3 are even more high probability trade setup supported demand zones. So they are supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame daily, entry zone supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at entry time frame daily, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement, I am selecting VOZ. Minimum odd enhances score 12. We got 3 stocks. And these 3 supply zones, daily supply zones, are supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. So let us look for zone confluence among these 3 stocks. That is a daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. Enable the filter. All the 3 stocks are filtered. That means these daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend, ITF trend, is a downtrend in all the 3 stocks. And weekly supply zone having weekly EMA, then these stocks could be even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence, and all the 3 stocks are filtered. So these 3 are more high probability trade setup supported stock. Let us also look for LTF, ITF, HTF zone confluence, supply zone confluence. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, daily supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. Third filter, weekly supply zone with monthly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got only 1 stock. So this daily supply zone overlapped with weekly, both together again overlapped with monthly supply zone. But monthly trend is sideways. Sideways EMA confluence does not give any advantage. So we are not looking into EMA. So this is about bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, let us look for weekly income trades. First report is bullish trade setup. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup, at 75 minutes time frame, I am selecting bullish. And 75 minutes demand zone, we should set 3 filters. First filter, 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So that's why in the pierced count, at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means zone is not pierced. 75 minutes, demand zone is not pierced. See, whichever the one you select, for that only the filter will be applied. If you select supply zone, filter will be applied to supply zone. Now I selected demand zone. So that filter is applied to demand zone. And zone achievement, violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhancer score 12. And all the 3 filters, pierced zone, zone achievement, minimum odd enhancer score, all the 3 filters are applied to 75 minutes demand zone. Now we got 7 stocks. These 7 stocks are currently supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade, and entry time frames are 75 minutes demand zones. All these are all 75 minutes demand zones because we selected entry zone as demand zone. And some of these demand zones are high liquidity zones. That way they got a high probability to get success. But still we will further look for based on zone confluence. LTF and ITF zone confluence, that is 75 minutes demand zone confluence with daily demand zone confluence. I am enabling that filter. So with this filter, out of 7 stocks, we got 6 stocks. In all these 6 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend, that is ITF trend, is uptrend in all the stocks. Because 75 is overlapped with the daily, let us look for daily zone is having daily EMA confluence. In the EMA confluence at daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. Already trend is uptrend. So 2 stocks are filtered. The daily trend is up. So these 2 are even more high probability trade setup supported demand zones. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. Removing this ITF filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First one is already enabled. Second filter, 75 with weekly demand zone confluence. Third filter, daily with weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. In these 3 stocks, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily, both together with overlapped with weekly demand zone. And weekly trend is up in 2 stocks. In these 2 stocks, any of the weekly demand zones are having weekly EMA, then those stocks are even more high probability supported stocks. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, I am setting the filter, weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence, and the trend should not be sideways on weekly. Setting only up because it is bullish trade setup. We got both these stocks. So these 2 are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. So these are 75 minute zones are more high probability supported stocks. So this is about a bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes. Entry zone supply zone. And in bullish or bearish trade setup at 75 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. 3 filters we have to set on the 75 minute supply zone. First filter is 75 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0, zone achievement VOZ, minimum odd enhancer score 12. With all the 3 filters, we got 11 stocks. These 11 supply zones are currently supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade, and these entry time frame zones are 75-minute supply zones. Out of these 11 75-minute supply zones, some are high liquidity zones are there, but still we look for more probability based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF ITF supply zone confluence. That is 75-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With this filter, the list is come down to 8. In these 8 stocks, these 75-minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone, and daily trend is down in all these stocks. Let us verify if these daily supply zones are having daily EMA confluence. If that is the case, these 75-minute supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter 75-minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we did not get any stocks. I think we made a mistake. We set the filter for 75 minutes. We have to set it for daily. This is wrong because 75 is overlapped with daily. So I am removing this filter. In the daily time frame, I am setting daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. The 75-minute zone is overlapped with daily. So daily zone we have to set the filter. So we got 2 stocks. So these 2 supply zones are even more high probability trade setup support supply zones. Okay, next let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence supported stocks. Removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters we have to set. First filter is already enabled. Second filter 75-minute supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. Third filter daily supply zone with weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got 6 stocks. In these 6 stocks, these 75-minute supply zones are overlapped with daily, both together overlapped with weekly. And the weekly trend is down in 1, 2, 3, 4 stocks. And if those 4 stocks, any of the 4 stocks are having weekly supply zone with weekly EMA confluence, then these 75-minute supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. Let us verify. Out of those 4, the EMA confluence, weekly time frame, I am setting the filter weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. And trend on the weekly should not be sideways. Because it is bearish trade setup, trend should be downtrend on weekly. We got all the 4 stocks are filtered. All 4 having downtrend, weekly trend. So that's why these 75-minute supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supply zones. That's why some of these supply zones are already tested. Some are even 3 times they tested. Because they have such a high probability trade setup. So this is about bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next we will look into daily income trade. Bullish trade setup daily income trade entry time frame 15 minutes. Entry zone demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes entry time frame, I am selecting bullish, and these 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0, zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhanced score 12, all the 3 filters enabled. The 15 minutes demand zone, all the 3 filters are applied. We got 9 stocks. Currently these 9 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for daily income trade, and these entry time frame zones are demand zones. Some of these demand zones are high liquidity demand zones. They are already having some higher success rate because of high liquidity zones. But still we should further look based on the zone confluence. Zone confluence 2 filters. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. I am enabling the filter. With this filter, we got 6 stocks. In all these 6 stocks, these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes trend, ITF trend is up. If any of those 75 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, then these 15 minutes demand zones are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. So these two 15 minutes demand zones are even more high probability trade setup supported demand zones. Okay, next filter is LTF, ITF and HTF demand zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled, 15 with 75 zone confluence. Second filter, 15 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. Third filter, 75 minutes demand zone with daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. That means these 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 75. Both together again overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily demand zone trend is up in only 1 stock. And if this stock is having daily EMA confluence, the daily demand zone with daily EMA confluence, then this is even more high probability trade setup supported zone. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at a daily time frame, daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence filter is enabled. With this filter, but trend on daily should not be sideways, it should be only uptrend because bullish trade setup. So we got this ICICI Bank stock. This is even more high probability trade setup supported zone. Maybe it is already tested and moving towards the supply zone. Okay, this is about a bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes. Entry zone supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 15 minutes entry time frame, I am selecting bearish. And 3 filters we have to set it for 15 minutes supply zone. First filter, 15 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means zone is not pierced. Zone achievement should be violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhancer score 12. All 3 filters applied to 15 minutes supply zone. We got 10 stocks. Currently, these 10 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zones. All these 15 minute supply zones are entry zones. Some of these 15 minute supply zones are high liquidity zones. They have high probability to get success. Even then we have to add even more high probability based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. So let us apply that filter on these 10 stocks. So in the supply zone confluence, I am setting the filter 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. With this filter, out of the 10 stocks, we got 6 stocks. In these 6 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend, ITF trend is down in all these stocks. If 75 minute supply zone is having daily EMA confluence, then those 15 minute supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. Let us identify. So in the supply zone, in the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. So these 2 are even more high probability trade setup supply zones. Okay, this is about LTF and ITF and with ITF EMA confluence. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence. So I am removing this ITF EMA filter. We have to focus on HTF, higher time frame. So in the supply zone confluence, we have to set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 15-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. Third filter, 75-minute supply zone with daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence, we got 4 stocks. So in these 4 stocks, these 15-minute supply zones are overlapped with 75-minute supply zone. Both together again overlapped with daily supply zone. And daily trend, that is HTF trend, is down in first, third and fourth stocks. In those 3 stocks, if any of the daily supply zones are having daily EMA confluence, they are even more high probability trade setup supported stocks. Let us verify. In the EMA confluence, at daily time frame, I am setting the filter daily supply zone having daily EMA confluence. This filter is enabled, and trend on the daily time frame should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. With these filters, we got 2 stocks out of 3. So these 2 are even more high probability trade setup daily supply zones. That is the reason why these stocks are already tested. Okay, this is about bearish trade setup, daily income trade. And the next reports are about hourly income trade. Hourly income trade, bullish trade setup, entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone, demand zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup parameter at 5 minutes, entry time frame I am selecting bullish, and we should set 3 filters to this 5 minutes demand zone. First filter is 5 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 5 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0, zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhanced score 12. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got 12 stocks. And these 12 stocks are supporting bullish trade setup for hourly income trade, and entry time frame zones are 5 minutes demand zones. All these are all 5 minutes demand zones, and some of these 5 minutes demand zones are high liquidity zones. That way they have some additional probability to get the success. Apart from that, we should also look for LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. So that is 5 minutes and 15 minutes demand zone confluence. In the demand zone confluence, I am enabling that filter. 5 minutes demand zone with 15 minutes demand zone confluence. With this filter, we got 10 stocks. In all these 10 stocks, these 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zones. And 15 minutes trend is up in all these stocks, ITF trend. If any of the 15 minutes demand zones are having daily EMA confluence, maybe these 5 minutes demand zones could be even more high probability trade setup supported zones. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 15 minutes time frame, 15 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence or not, we are verifying. With this filter, we got 2 stocks. These 2 stocks are having even more high probability trade setup. Okay. Next, let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence with all the 3 time frames. LTF, ITF, HTF. 5 minutes, 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. So in the demand zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. Second filter, 5 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. Third filter, 15 minutes demand zone with 75 minutes demand zone confluence. All the 3 filters are enabled. With these 3 filters, LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence, we got 6 stocks. In these 6 stocks, These 5 minutes demand zones are overlapped with 15 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with 75 minutes demand zone. And 75 minutes is HTF. HTF trend is up in all these stocks except the second one. So the remaining 5 stocks, if HTF demand zone is having daily EMA confluence, maybe those 15 5-minute zones could be even more high probability trade setup supported zones. Let's verify. So in the EMA confluence at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting the filter 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA confluence. With this filter, we got 3 stocks. So these 3 are even more high probability trade setup 5 minutes demand zones. Okay, this is about bullish trade setup for hourly income trade. Next, let us look for a bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. Entry time frame 5 minutes, entry zone supply zone. In bullish or bearish trade setup at 5 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish, and these 5 minute supply zones, we need to set 3 filters on this 5 minute supply zone. First filter is 5 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter at 5 minutes time frame, minimum value I am setting 0, maximum value I am setting 0. Zone achievement should be violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhanced score is 12, and all the 3 filters are applied to 5 minute supply zone. We got 8 stocks. So these 8 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. And the entry time frame is 5 minute supply zones. Some of these 5 minute supply zones are high liquidity zones. Apart from that, we will also further filter these zones based on the zone confluence. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 5 minutes and 15 minutes supply zone confluence. So I am enabling that filter. With this filter, the list is come down to 6. In these 6 stocks, these 5 minute supply zones are overlapped with 15 minute supply zone. And 15 minutes trend, ITF trend, is down in all these stocks. Out of these 6, if any of these 15 minute supply zones are having daily EMA, then these 5 minute supply zones are even more high probability trade setup supported zones. Let's verify. In the EMA confluence at 15 minutes time frame, 15 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence or not, we are verifying. One stock we filtered. So this could be even more high probability trade setup. Okay, next, let us look for LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. I am removing EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, we should set 3 filters. First filter is already enabled. That is 5 minute supply zone with 15 minute supply zone confluence. Second filter, 5 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. 15 minute supply zone with 75 minute supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters enabled, we got only one stock. And this 5 minute supply zone is overlapped with 15, both together overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. But 75 minutes trend is down sideways, HTF trend. So EMA confluence does not give any advantage. So we are not filtering EMA. So this is about bearish trade setup for hourly income trade. And the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. All these are all stop buffers. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. Okay, I am scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there you pause the video. After that, you can proceed further. I am scrolling the list down. So this is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you. Let's all meet again in our next video. Thank you.